lifesavers?
Yes.
They were good.
I guess they were inappropriately named. And welcome to Tavern Talk. We are a full spoiler talk show based on the epic fantasy series The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. Joining me, as always, is the whole Tavern Talk crew. Let's look at them. Let's admire them. We got Brother Dan. We got Jansen the Gleeman, Beth Doman, and Dad Swain Sedai here to talk to you. We're talking Randall Thor. We're continuing our Book to Show series where we compare characters from the show and the books. And today we are diving into Randall Thor. Save the best for last. This is kind of funny. Brother Dan and I were looking at the list of videos we've done to see what we're going to do next, and we realized we did 2 Egwin videos.
We did 2 Egwin videos. We talked about Egwin on 2 separate shows. How
literally
fun
forgetting.
are we?
Yeah. We're dumb puppets, but I'm happy to be here, guys. Randall Thor. But hey, before we talk, anybody got anything exciting to say, or how's your lives doing? How's everyone going?
I still have COVID cough. A month after having COVID. Yay me.
Sucks.
Yeah, it does. Don't make me laugh or I'll be hacking up a lung.
Dan, challenge
We
accepted.
are a comedy show.
Challenge accepted.
So...
Great. No, doing well.
Doing well, Dad Swain Sedai. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there. I recently lost my job, so that's kind of a Debbie Downer.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Fuck
it was
them.
awful.
Fuck them all. Fuck the man.
Fucking tariffs.
Yeah, so I'm crazy job hunting right now, and have a few leads that I'm going to look at tomorrow, which is nice. And so I'm trying to stay optimistic.
I got my fingers,
Excellent.
my felt fingers crossed for you, bro.
Thank you, but I did do like a scratch off ticket, and I won $1, so things are looking up.
Hey!
That's amazing.
I hear the president says the economy is better than ever.
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
all gas prices are low, eggs are low, all this stuff is like the lowest ever. So it should be you just throw your resume into the wind and people are just gonna call you. It's great.
I would love to know where gas prices are low, eggs are low. I want to know where in the country, because I'll move there.
Even
though I don't,
it's $5.25 here.
even though I don't eat eggs, I would move there. I would move there.
I believe the Dominican Republic is really cheap, and it's still part of U.S. So
the Dominican Republic is not part of
Fuel.
the U.S., Ryan. It's its own country.
Haiti.
Haiti
Guam.
is
Guam.
Guam.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're talking.
You know,
Guam.
other side of the world than the Dominican Republic and Haiti, but
It's
the
all right. No,
same.
Guam, otherwise known as Little Hawaii.
You know, Jansen, to your point, I used to live in Long Beach and I would drive by Wilmington and there were oil refineries everywhere along the 405. And yet the mobile station there, or the Chevron, was like $30
$10.
more expensive more than everywhere else. It didn't make sense. You're making it right there.
Do you remember when one gas station did like a 25-cent gallon, and then like the lines were all the way down PCH Highway, and then they had to tell them you can't. Yeah, they had basically they somehow were like that. You can't do that. You can't sell gas any cheaper.
Nope.
Fun. All right. Well, hey, Randall Thor, the almost practically the titular character. Some would say the main character of the series, our hapless sheep herder turned hero.
Ryan, you right off the bat, you make a great point, because in the books, Randall Thor was the main point of view, but in the shows, it was Moraine. And so we saw the 2 rivers. We saw it from Rand's point of view a little bit, but for the most part, it was from Moraine's point of view. And so I guess that's the first question I want to ask you guys is, was this the right direction for the show to feature Moraine as the main point of view as opposed to Rand, which it is in the books. And I'll ask,
Yes.
let's go to you, Beth, first.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, it made sense because they wanted you to, the show watcher, the non-book reader, to have to wonder who the Dragon Reborn was. If we were going to have it from Rand's POV from the very first episode, it would have given everything away. So yeah, I think it's very important that it didn't cast.
But you say very important, but how important was that subterfuge in general?
I mean, I don't know. I honestly can't tell you that honestly because I'm a book reader, so I don't know what that was like. So you'd have to ask that question to somebody who had watched the show. And
there's a thing they call the kitty cooler, which is pretty much the kitty water cooler. And like,
it sounds
Jensen,
like
this is a family show, Jensen.
I know. Like what I'm talking about is the buzz with the teeny boppers, with the ages between 13 and 16 who they really, really want to watch the show. Who's the Dragon Reborn? I don't know. Who's they want that buzz, you know? And like, yeah, there's a lot of people out there who already know who it was, but there were a lot of things in the Game of Thrones that a lot of people out there knew what it was, and so many more people who didn't wanted to watch and speculated on what's happening because they didn't have the time to read the books or never read the books or didn't want to read the books or whatever. But yeah, I think it was hugely important. You know, any show needs any kind of like pluses for marketing that you can have. You know, any kind of different outlet, different ways for money to come in, and the speculation, the buzz that brings is huge. You need that.
So let's dig into that deeper. Is the name recognition of Rosamund Pike as a 40-year-old woman stronger with the teen set that you were saying than an up-and-coming actor like Josha, who is like in his young 20s? I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying, but those two don't.
Referred to this before. Without Rosamund, this would have never even got off the ground.
Right, and I'm okay with that. However,
because
all right, so Beth, you say it was a good decision to make. So what I heard for this latest, the Emmys thing, was that the Amazon had submitted Daniel Henney as the best actor nominee and Yosha as the best supporting actor nominee. And to me, this defines one of the issues that the entire show had. Am I wrong with it thinking that, guys? Dad Swain, what are your thoughts?
I think going into it, I really did not understand the mechanics of television. So apart from just watching it. So in my mind, I was definitely one of those people who was kind of like, I don't know why you can't just do X, Y, Z. You know, why can't you just have this? Why can't you just have that? And I didn't really take the time until a little bit later to listen to a lot of the people who were in the industry, but also in the fandom, kind of explaining how a TV series is made and how executives get their hands in it and what demographics they're looking for and why you might make this decision and that decision and whatever. When you're reading a book, it's way different because you can write whatever the fuck you want. So, you know, I'm reading and I'm looking at Rand as the main character very quickly in the eye of the world. It was very apparent that, you know, this is the guy that we need to watch. This is the one that this series is going to be about. You've got all these great supporting characters who are also sort of main characters. But, you know, in the books, it was Rand al'Thor is the Dragon Reborn. Let's see what happens with him. In the show, you couldn't, just in the world of television, like nothing would have launched. I completely agree now. If they had just been like, here's Yosha, who we now know is an incredibly, you know, complex and diverse actor and an amazing person. But at the beginning, it was just kind of like, who's that? You know, and he'd maybe done one or two movies that nobody had heard of or whatever. He was great in them. It was fantastic. But putting Rosamund Pike on there, who I knew already, I was kind of like, ooh, I like her. This is great. So it worked on me. where they were like,
Yeah.
Rosamund Pike as Moraine. I was like, I'm going to watch it. Absolutely. And I think that's what they hoped would happen with a wide variety of audience demographics, where they were like, here's a big name. And then as the show continued to grow, here's some other big names, especially in Europe and stuff. They started pulling a lot of.
Absolutely. With
Yeah,
her
lots
there
of.
in Europe, it was huge.
Oh, sure. Mira, and then in India, Priyanka is huge over there, and so really pulling big names to kind of build that diversity in the cast. So while I would have loved to have Rand front and center immediately, because I really think Yosha did an incredible job as Rand al'Thor once he was like established in that character, I think I agree completely that they had to do it in the show with Rosamund first.
I feel like more of a balance could have been achieved. Like, as a reader, you get to see like Rand change probably more than all of the characters, right? And you like live his journey, and it feels like not front like putting him front and center took away from that. I don't know how much he changed. He just kind of got powerful. He was always like a respectful, great lover, respectful to his woman,
great lover.
Like,
thank you, Ryan.
Empathetic, like he's a feminist. We knew all these things. Like, I didn't see much actual change over 3 seasons, and I feel like if you really focused on him and saw him go through, because Moraine's already a super soldier. Seeing her go through these things is exciting, but it's not the world-changing events that it was for Rand. To see Rand more front and centered and see how he had to go through all these things and how he had to change and kind of live up to the moment, I thought was missing in all of the seasons in a way.
Yeah, I think what happened with Rand's character growth in season 3, I wish would have happened sooner. I felt like in season 3, I was like getting Rand al'Thor. We were starting to dig into his character. And I think there were moments in the previous seasons where we were seeing a little bit of Rand, a little bit of whatever. But season 3 like blew me away with his character development.
But this is exactly what happens in the books.
Mm-hmm.
In the first 3 books, Rand is just Rand. He's plunking along. He's plodding along. This is very, very consistent with the books playing out. Rand doesn't really come into his own until the Shadow Rising in the books.
Yeah, but
so I personally think pacing and everything wise, this is exactly. I mean, we're coming at it from the lens of it being a complete series in 3 seasons. With it not being able to come back and doing seasons 4 through 8. So from a pacing standpoint for a multi-season show, this was perfectly paced for Rand's character development.
Well, I disagree slightly because I think that they didn't have enough time with eight, episodes.
I agree with you there too, but with what they did, with what they presented, they did the best they could from a character development standpoint.
Yeah, I feel like pace-wise, they could have moved him further a little bit earlier, just because they didn't have enough time. That's all I was saying.
Go ahead, Jansen. What do you got to say, Jansen?
They couldn't do that. They could only start Rand's real development after they completely figured out that he was the Dragon Reborn. For this very same reason that we were talking about before. They couldn't focus on one character because they wanted people to speculate who it was.
Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't do that. And we were also talking about a lot of beloved characters that all needed development, at some point in some way. And we're all definitely all not happy with the choices that were all made for all those different kinds of developments. But, they did a pretty good job on some of the characters, and they spent too much time on some of the characters, and I agree with that. But I think that if it would have gone into more seasons, we would have saw more flashbacks of how they, all the characters, hopefully Matt as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's for Rand. The to your point, Beth. It is more or less book accurate in the timeline, but what he is doing in the second season has nothing to do with the books. And so, in the second season of the show, he is shacking up with Selene. and they're falling in love.
But that
Guys.
needed to happen for a show perspective. That needed to happen. You needed to have.
That was Judkins' doorway.
They needed a foil for Rand.
Yes,
And Rand's foil is Lanfear in season 2.
They did that instead of going into the world with Huron and Loyal, you know?
Exactly.
That's what they did.
I mean, they made it, instead of she's like this mysterious woman who uses his shirt as a nightgown one night, they took it to one level higher with, he was already getting it on with Egwene. He's not a little village sheep herder who knows nothing of the ways of the world, clearly, because anyway, I mean, would a normal person who wasn't Lanfear, who knew who he was, have come up to him in Kyrian and propositioned him and done those things? Probably not. But she had a mission, she had a purpose, and they needed to interject Lanfear in the life that way, because Moiraine needed to build an ongoing conflict-based relationship with Lanfear. And so, I mean, I think honestly, Rand's story arc of all of the characters makes the most sense from an adaptation standpoint. I think it makes the most sense of any of these characters.
Well, it definitely had a better payoff than a lot of the characters. You know,
I think Moiraine's made a lot of sense too.
Yeah, Moiraine's did too.
Yeah, I think Moiraine's made a lot of sense. But yeah,
I agree. I think that Rand with Lanfear was setting up for her to get violently jealous and get thrown into the twisted doorway.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I mean, so in book 2, Rand is by himself, right? He's kind of more. He's fighting his own. Right?
In book 2, he is not by himself. In book 2, he goes to home with
the eye. Isn't he?
No.
Doesn't
book 2, or you mean season 2?
No, book 2. Doesn't he leave his friends
No, he's
what is that? Book 3?
In Faldara. At the beginning of book 2, he's in Faldara, and then he gets given the banner, and he sends off to go find the Dark Friends because Padden Fane steals the Horn of Valyr, and he's tasked to go with them. And
right. Okay,
yeah. In
book
3
in the
where
show,
he's
by
killing
himself.
Dogs.
Yes, in book 3, he's by himself in the beginning.
Okay. I get confused. Too many books. Too many words, guys.
Well, actually,
no, but so I mean, it's still debatable whether or not. Like, I don't know how numbers work in terms of television. I do know that the first season got the most views, and then they dropped like each season.
Yeah,
I don't know if that is specifically because they had this cliffhanger. I don't know. I didn't personally like that choice. Not because I felt that, they broke canon and a female could be, all that. Like, there's a lot of weird, like, canon breaking to get this kind of, like, do we have, five, one of the 5 could be it, all that stuff. But I did feel like there is something missing, and it kind of goes back to what I do. Do you guys think, though, that cliffhanger, like, was it effective? Was it necessary?
At the end of season 1?
Yeah, or just the whole who's the TAVERN, who's the dragon.
But they didn't have it on a cliffhanger because we found out who it was at the end of episode 7 in season 1. He went to Moiraine and he says, "I'm the Dragon Reborn. It's me."
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So it's not a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So to Ryan's point,
okay,
was this whole subterfuge then really worth it?
Again, you're asking the wrong crowd because we all are book readers.
Yeah, but I liked it. I liked that also from like just a show, because I watched all 3 seasons with my mum and my sister who have never read the book, so I kind of got to observe them as show only people, asking the questions and trying to figure out who was what and whatever. And the idea of who's the dragon, who did they want to be the dragon, who did they think was the dragon, was very entertaining and also like engaging. Like I already knew, but I was kind of like, okay, I can see where the mystery of who might it be because of these particular things that are happening can pull people in.
All right, Dan Lou agrees that she said the show watchers loved the guessing game of who the dragon was. We have a non-reader reaction show with our sister and Dan's wife. I believe they figured out who it was pretty early. Do you remember, Dan, where they were at with that?
Yeah, I think they had pinpointed it pretty much after the first or second episode, to be honest. They were like, well, it's the guy we're following. I mean, because Rand is the tertiary main character still of the Two Rivers. We see him travel. We see him pull the bow. We see him making love in the kitchen. We see all these things. So I don't know. So
they assumed, yeah. But okay, no. Either way, it was a major change. But Rand did get to do some pretty powerful things. We did get to see him try to revive a child, which, of all the moments, like for them to capture that, and I felt like they hit it home. That was very emotional, very, very well done. He acted his living ass off. I mean, like, I have no complaints about
Yosha.
I was thinking about you, Jansen. Like this, like what they. Can you just like, okay, you're watching Yosha do that, right? He's holding the kid. He's crying. He's laughing maniacally. He's showing like 4 dimensions at a time of extremities. Look, okay, so you as an actor, if you were given that part, I would love to hear what you would be doing to prepare for that. And I'd love to hear what you think like a director or what kind of advice, like prompts you'd be getting to get to that point.
Well, I mean, I don't know what, I haven't delved into his acting
oeuvre.
Oh, his education, Yosha's education. I don't know what discipline he does. I don't know if it's Meisner or Stella Adler or Stanislavski, whoever. I don't know.
Or maybe Jerry Seinfeld.
But there are a lot of different ways people go about getting into character like that. A lot of them is being alone. For me, I would probably just have to be alone for a while. And you also have to remember, you guys, we saw that one take, man. They probably did this over and over and over again, probably like 60 to 75 times.
How boring does that get? Do you get pumped? Like if you're like 20, 30 takes in and you're like, all right, I'm saying the same line. I mean, does it become a drag or is it?
Well, God willing, one day maybe it will happen, but I've never been in the position where I am out there in front of a camera spewing line after line after line after line after line over and over. I have been in that situation, maybe 70%, like where I'm still have lines over and over again. And it does get monotonous, it gets, it's funny how you later on in the day, how people start fucking up a lot. And you're like, and you're thinking, God, man, haven't we been doing this like 100 times, And it's like, what? But yeah, it gets monotonous. It becomes work.
Yeah.
And it's you have to stay, up, drink your coffee, because you're up early in the morning. Stay, present and make sure your breath doesn't stink. Like.
Right. That question reminds me of Rosie Lopez. Rosie Lopez in Do the Right Thing. So she was doing this dance thing, and she was doing this aggressive fucking dance for the intro, right?
Yeah.
And I guess Spike Lee just kept on saying, "Do it again." Do it again. No feedback. Do it again. And she was getting pissed. This is like 20 takes in. She's doing it. She's sweating. She's starting to look angry and mean. And that's the one he used.
Was that Do the Right Thing?
Was it Do the Right Thing? I think so.
You sure it wasn't White Man Can't Jump?
Maybe.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Maybe. I may
I
have
think
been
that-
switching things up.
That reminds me a lot of like I think maybe any
But I
sort of
mean-
art form is like I remember when I was a student in high school, I was a feature flute soloist for the El Paso Symphony.
No, you weren't.
You're a
Yes.
flautist?
You're a flautist like me?
Yeah. So
Oh
I
my
had
god!
Yeah.
Hey, stop! Hey, you guys are tooting your own horns right now. Stop it.
No, we're shooting our own
So-
flutes. There's a difference.
How do you use
yeah, but-
spit valves, guys?
but it's rewarding and it's also taxing, just like Jansen said. Like because we would get up there and I was playing a piece by Mozart, and so there would be these runs, and then we'd have to stop and do it over and do it over and do it over and do it over. And in some ways, you're doing it so much, your technicality is getting better, and in other ways, you're just so aggravated because I'm kind of like I don't want to play these 3 measures over and over again. I'm so irritated. So I think it translates into that, in some ways you're doing the scene over and over and your character is sort of beginning to immerse himself into you. And then in other ways, you're on take 40 and you're just like, I am so pissed off right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so they can,
All right,
be a balance.
real quick, guys. Let's bring in our special guest. I'm sure she will have much to add to the conversation, but I want to stick on this because this is fascinating to me. All right, she is here. It is
Hey,
the
London.
London.
I'm like a very undone version of me. I've had
It's
a lot
fine.
of sun. I've had no time for makeup. I was rushing, so
It's
here we
all
are.
good. You're all natural.
We're
Hey,
glad you're
me
here.
too. Hey, if it helps, Brother Dan and I do not have makeup on either. So.
No.
That's what I figured. I was like, they're dudes. That's fine.
All right, so but yeah, we were talking, so we're just to catch you up, we were talking about the scene where Rand is holding the child trying to resuscitate it, and that a powerful scene Yosha gives us. And we were asking Jansen about like what it takes as an actor, and that's where the conversation's at. Jansen, I want to ask you this: in your training, like, all I know from psychology and like is that the more you think something, the more likely it affects you. It's the feedback loop of thought. I mean, this is all like, I'm talking science, baby. Like if you like the whole idea of like the feedback loop, of like if you're like if Kurt Cobain is singing like the most depressing shit every night, that it's in and of itself will feed back into his own consciousness and create like a change. And what I'm asking you is like for Yosha to be going through those emotions, you're telling me he might have had to do that 50 times.
Yeah.
What does that do to you? And are you trained to somehow buffer that? Because it is dealing with emotions, like, which are things that most people fucking just run away from on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think, man, I think someone like him got used to it. I think he got used to it. And I think he, and from the looks of things, he was getting better as he went along.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think he was actually, he was one of the actors in that show that was actually starting to understand the character that we read.
Don't you think that also has to do with him reading the books and getting an understanding of Rand from the source material? 100%.
Oh,
right?
I love that. Yeah, Beth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without question, it had to. I mean, and that, that also shows the true, zest and his zeal of becoming what he wanted to and doing his craft and just becoming that character, encapsulating it. And that happens in a lot of shows, especially series that actually are lucky enough to go for a long time. You see how much better these actors get. And they become incredible. Like they become
we saw that in this.
Well,
as you're
in
talking about-
chemistry, indeed, chemistry is hard to establish in 8 episodes, I guess, a season kind of thing. It's so the longer you work with someone, the more comfortable you get. Let me.
Sorry, that
Go ahead.
scene
No, please.
also, I know that they did that scene in 2 different versions. So the first version, Yosha said that it was a little bit more true to the books. Like they had the actress who was playing the girl on wires, and while he was channeling, they were like throwing her up and making her move and stuff. And he was really
I want that.
And so they said that he said that there were more actors in the scene as well. Like Ruark was there, Moraine was there, the Wise Ones were there, all the people who were in the books, and they only had a certain amount of time to try to get that scene together, and they were not able to do it. And so he had poured a lot of his, understanding of Rand and his madness and what happens when he's really fully channeling. And then when they came back, I think it was like a couple days later, he said that they only had another like portion of time to do it, and this time they only had Egwene, Avienda, and Moraine and Lan. So he kind of pulled from that first version. They didn't have her on the wires, they didn't have her doing whatever, but he said that he pulled from that idea of all the emotions and the madness and the trying to pull from the prophecies and put life into this girl again. So I think it's amazing to listen to him talk about it, but I agree that like it must be difficult to not let that move into your own psyche.
I don't know how to do it. Like you're talking to Swain about being a flautist. Yeah, like I've been in bands and you're rehearsing the songs, and like there's a lot of repetition. And like my ADHD would force me to like think about some weird minute thing I'm doing while I'm playing. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to think about my right hand this time, or I'm going to think about my posture, or I'm going to think about my breathing, or I'm going to think about how long I'm holding each note out. Something very specific to keep me engaged, because playing the same fucking song over again.
But Ryan, to that point, you were singing, so you were screaming some dark shit as well. But it didn't.
Oh yeah, I would.
Life. You're like, no, you can't be dead.
Yeah. No, Dan. The first like 5 to 10 shows, I would leave and go cry.
Well, that's part of the art, and it's part of the art and the craft. Is that like if I'm on stage and I'm performing a concerto or practicing a concerto, first of all, there's an audience. That's creepy. And then you have this orchestra behind you, and you have your piece of music. And so as you go into each thing, like take one, we're going to go for it, and we go in, and then I'm like, okay, I am thinking about my left hand and my right hand and my breathing and my sustained notes, and where do I breathe in this very long piece of music. Where do I take a breath so that the audience doesn't hear like it has to be smooth, it has to go like that. And so all of that, though, I think rather than thinking about it as your mind, your ADHD, it all is encompassed in the craft of playing the
part of your training.
And so I think in acting, correct me if I'm wrong, Danson, but it would be the same. You pull from all the things that you've learned from your craft to put yourself into this emotional state and this character and this moment.
I know, but it's so extreme.
Burn, do you use it?
Well, let me pull London in. So, London, when we saw Rand go through the rings or through the pillars and experience his past life, it was Yosha every time.
Yeah.
Did you recognize that right off the bat?
Yes.
Okay.
It took me 2 times, I think, to be like,
did it? Yeah, I recognized it right off the bat, but it was really, it was incredible. Like he did such a great job. But yeah, it still looked like him. But that's the point, right? It has to look like somebody related to him. So. Yeah, but it was amazing. Yeah, I was like, for a second, I was scared you were gonna ask me about like what I think of. I'm like, my job stuff, and yeah, glad we're not doing that.
Yeah, no, we got tact. We got tact.
Yeah.
You got tact. Nice, right?
We're so tactful here.
We're tact as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I was getting worried. I was like, oh crap, everyone's a performance artist here.
Yeah.
I mean, but if we don't ask you any direct questions, please feel free to insert any information. Yeah, no, we're all just talking about
shit. But like for real, my job is stupid. So like, I was sitting there listening to people. I'm like, wow, you guys put like work into stuff. That's crazy. Congrats.
I love it. That's so great.
So Rand,
one thing we talk about is like, what were you most happy to see, and what did you wish you had seen? For me, the scenes I wished we'd seen were Rand and Matt on the road, caring for each other. They both got sick in different ways, which never made sense to me until my second read through. But that whole thing where they're like alternately holding each other, the whole Almond Bunt fucking chapter is one of my favorite moments in all the books.
Wow.
And yeah.
I like that chapter too. I especially like that I like the callback to it later. Yeah.
Almond Bunt is one of my favorite characters.
It's
what did you wish you had seen, right?
It's the greatest name in fantasy.
Almond Bunt.
Yeah. Almond Bunt. Yeah. So let's go through who wants to say what do you wish you seen?
What do I wish I'd seen that's different?
Yeah. The
or from the
was
books,
not,
or
or there was that.
Or you go backwards, a moment in the show that you wished you seen in the books.
Oh.
I'll go ahead. I wish that Rand had fought in the sky. I think that could have been done. I think the dragon that Moraine created was unsatisfying to me. I would have liked it for him to be portrayed across the sky like the books had, and just everyone was like, oh yeah, we saw you fighting in the clouds. It was bitching. I wish I'd seen that.
Yeah, I think that in season 3, when Matt was getting his portrait done and Rand kind of peeks over and he's like, oh God, I need a drink. They actually had a picture of them fighting in the sky. And I was just like, where did that come from?
Yeah, I like the idea that it was like projected. And like projected, not even just there, it was projected over like a completely different battlefield too. And like yeah, that's missing.
Yeah, I mean, like,
sorry.
I mean, wasn't that like when Masama like became changed, like proselytized? He saw that, right? Masama, Massima?
Right. That's what turned him into a zealot.
Yeah, so he saw that, changed his life, and that was a huge thing in the book.
Yeah,
Massima.
I thought you said Masana.
I did. I said Masama, but like, yeah,
what? Was she there?
I fucking blew it.
He said, "Do you want to come to my sauna?"
Yeah, there we go. That's why the dragon was there, to create the heat.
So let's sweat. Jansen, what did you wish to see that you did not see from Rand al'Thor?
Something more subtle than that. Like, I mean, I think that they did a great job visually for what they did. You know, for all the things that we saw visually, the big moments, they were great. You know, they were awesome. They did a really good job of that. But as far as Rand al'Thor is concerned, I thought they should have had way more interactions with him and Tam. You know, or like flashbacks with him and Tam, because in the books, ultimately, he even told Min that he was raised differently. Tam was such a
my favorite line
of him. You know, Tam was a huge part of him and why he succeeded, why everything. So, you know, I understand that the actor had some, you know, conflicts, but I wish they would have had more interactions with him in this film.
Well, Jansen, they cut a scene with Egwene and Tam al'Thor.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful scene where Tam al'Thor's all, "Don't break his heart. He's all I have." And I mean, it's awesome. I don't know why they didn't have this,
I can only think the only reason was they needed to cut time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dumb. It was no, use this actor. I mean, we say this about Rosamund Pike all the time. Why didn't we do this about Tam Althor? This guy was a known solid draw. Anyways.
You need to release like the long version.
Yeah, really. London, what did
that.
you wish to see that you did not see from Rand al'Thor?
From Rand, well, from all the boys, but we'll go with Rand. Like I kind of wanted to see a little bit more of that, that naive, like I've never been out in the world thing. Like he like goes like they go into these huge cities. Like they're still from Edmonds Field. It doesn't matter that you aged them up. Like they go into these massive cities and they're like, oh, here I am in, town. Cool. I mean, it's like if you put like I'm from central Nebraska. Like the first time I went to New York, I was like, what is that? Was in Chicago. I'm like, what the hell is all of this? And so it's like, I would have liked to see more of that because it's like, they still would have been like that. And so,
that's really what the books indicate. When they even go into like Whitebridge, they're like, holy shit. Holy shit. That inn has 3 stories.
Yeah.
And look at all the tile roofs. Look at all not a thatch roof for the eye can see.
Yeah, they're like I just imagine they're like bug-eyed and
right.
And, yeah.
Right. And then they do a spin and throw their hat like Mary Tyler Moore, right? Yeah, thank you. Beth, is there anything that you wanted? What did you want to see that you did not see on the screen?
Honestly, I really would have liked to seen Rand progress in sword form better. I don't get me wrong, I loved the Indiana Jones moment of him using the power to kill Turok and his cadre of Shan-Chan. I thought that was really cool, but I really would have liked to seen him fumble and kill him by accident like he does in the books, and then progressively get more adept and stronger with the am I frozen?
No, you just did a little flicker.
My computer just decided that it wanted to do something weird, I guess. Anyway, sorry. Just that that I would have loved to seen him progress in the sword art. I think that's what I really would have liked to see more than
I thought about that, Beth, and you know what, you're right. And I thought about how could they have made that like scene better instead of just that moment, which was cool. I think that could have been the greatest time to bring in Alexander Kareem and have him turn into Lews Therin fighting with the sword. It would have been the best way to merge everything.
That would have been cool.
The first moment of going mad. Like, it would have been awesome. I thought that would have been sick.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Beth. So I can see Land saying, Boar rushes down the mountain, and then it has like flashes to Lews Therin doing this thing, and then him doing Heron in the Reeds or whatever, and like saying them out loud.
Oh,
like
that'd be amazing!
And then we jumping back and forth between Lews and Rand. That would have been great.
All right, Daedalou agrees. She said, I would love to see a little more Rand and Loyal or Rand and Land together. Yeah, I think Rand and Land, those were moments that really, they kind of had a little bit of that where Land kind of like, did they have one of those things where he's like, where he's like, what are you doing that? And he's like, oh, I'm forgetting. In the show, I feel like I remember them, Land doing something with Rand. Similar to how
he did something with
Jesus
him, right?
Christ!
Didn't
I'm sorry, my
mouth,
my mouth is preceding my brain. Okay,
they did do a training montage, a little like 30-second training montage.
Okay, but in the books he had the whole moment where he's like, okay, like say this, say that, and then he taught him how to kneel and stuff.
When the Amerlin was there, yeah,
that was the first kind of sign of Land having a soul. Right, like he is the most stone faced, like impersonal person, and all of a sudden this happens and you're like, what am I reading? Who is this man?
Except it wasn't the first time you saw that he had a soul. We saw it when Rand overheard his conversation with Nynaeve. And he was telling her that he has nothing to give but widow's clothes.
No, I'm sorry. In the books.
In the books, that's what I'm talking about. Rand overhears Nynaeve's conversation in Eye of the World.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It is.
All right, I stand corrected.
Mm-hmm.
You sit corrected, Ryan. Get down.
Okay.
I'm
Right,
sorry. I'm on a roll tonight with just making. I apologize.
No, it's fine. We're constantly wrong.
So let me ask you guys. We saw 3 seasons of the show before it was canceled. In the books, Rand has probably his closest connection with Min. The series, Min and Rand met once. I think so. Do you think that the series would have brought them together? Let's ask you, London, first.
I hope not. Okay, like give me. Okay, because I hope not, and like the reason is just like I don't know. I have a couple things, but like I don't think he needs like 3 girlfriends. That's like it's fine. But the other part is I actually really like that like that like platonic like best friend thing that she was developing with Matt. I just you don't see that many like
you don't. No, you don't. You're right.
Yeah, you don't see that many like male female like just like best friend things, and I thought that was a really interesting development with them, and they kind of had like similar personalities in a lot of ways that like not so much but like that similar kind of like mischievous like kind of like I really liked where that was going. I really liked actually
I know where else that was going. Matt was going to end up killing her.
Oh no.
What?
Oh yeah.
Flicker.
Oh yeah. Matt was
because she's a dark friend.
Because as soon as Ishmael came back to collect his debt, she would be like, "I'm sorry, I have to do this." Matt's luck would have saved him, and she would have died.
No, because Matt's luck saves a lot of people. Matt's luck doesn't always just save Matt.
They needed cliffhangers to kill people off, and she was the prime candidate.
Oh no.
No, well, it would have been so sad. I
have a different take on what they were going to do with Min, or what they should have done with Min.
Oh, let's hear it.
All right, talk to me, Beth.
Min talk.
They should have in Tanchico done something so that Min was grievously wounded and Elaine bonded Min. That would, instead of bringing in pulling somebody out from Tel Arenriad and trying to explain that, they could have bonded. She could have bonded Min, and then Min. That gives the bond between Elaine and Min. There's already a bond formed between Avienda and.
That's a good. Yeah, that's good.
I love it.
That was what I was really hoping would happen.
She would have hooked up with Rand then by being Min's +1 or Elaine's +1.
Right.
Well, yeah, it would have opened the door because Elaine and Avienda already have a union, a friendship, an established relationship.
Yeah, true that.
I just wanted an asexual character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I absolutely don't disagree with that at all.
No, I enjoyed Matt and Min a great deal. I thought they were the coolest, like little
Starsky and
Hutch, or like, yeah, they were chips. They were like, they were buddy cops. But the story had Min and Rand being in the most passionate love affair that Rand has.
Oh yeah,
he does not have passion with Avienda necessarily, nor Elaine. Those are occasions. With Min, it is sustained and aggressive, and so I wonder.
She's constantly on his lap.
She is constantly on his lap. Yeah, it's great. It's great. She is what he needs. But this Min, in the way that they were presented, there's no way I could see them getting together.
No, because Min is asexual.
You're gonna kill her off.
Yeah.
She was expendable, and she was a big enough character for the book readers to be shocked.
Because how are you going to
wrap with Loyal though, and with
I know, and Loyal. No one's happy about that.
Loyal's still falling.
No one's happy about that. Let's wait
for do not need food and water.
We're gonna have a 90-minute Loyal episode soon. And it's just gonna be us crying.
It's just him. We're just.
I mean, they did. The thing is, they did leave a way for Loyal to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
No. But he tree swings a rope like a stick and grabs onto it.
As soon as Egwene or Elaine or Nynaeve figured out how to travel or skim.
Well, they're gonna catch him mid-fall.
They go in and just see him hanging from one saying help. That's all they had to do.
They're on that little disc and suddenly
he tree sings a branch, grabs onto it.
Tarzan's down.
And somehow they save him before he starves to death. So Dan and I were saying, like, can a Loyal starve to death?
And Ogier?
Can a Loyal?
Can a Loyal? They in the show, the Ogiers are dead. It's only a Loyal. Can a Loyal starve to death?
They could easily write that time going differently in that place. Who knows?
Yeah.
They got so
just
much
like at the boar, it goes, but the boar goes faster. He'd be dead quicker.
No, I mean, Loyal. This was the dirtiest deed. We'll get into Loyal another show, but this is the dirtiest deed. He's floating. He's falling in perpetuity. He's peeing. His pee is just like floating, like falling with him, and like all things are all around him, just all around him. All excrement is just kind of just there.
Ew,
this is what Newton said, guys. Yeah. This is Newton's law.
Why are you doing extra? What? Why? Come on.
It's Newton's law.
Ogier don't poop, Dan. Ogier don't poop. Jesus Christ! It's not canonical that they poop.
Yeah, that's a good.
Well, point. He wouldn't like. I don't know why we're talking about this, but
you know what? Because we're puppets and we're weird.
Yeah. Okay. Well, physically, he'd have to...
What's this we shit, brother Dan?
I'm a puppet and I'm weird.
You're on your own island there. You're floating on your own. Go on, Dadswin.
All right.
I said he'd have to disrobe first, so he's probably just going to poo his pants, not have it floating about. Let's talk about Rand.
Yeah. Let's talk about Rand. Okay, so the end of season 1, this moment, which I think is like one of the anchors of the anti-woke criticism of the show, is for him to look at the, what he thought was the Dark One or whatever, and say, no, this is not real. Egwene wants to be in the White Tower. And that's what she wants. And like, even though that truth hurts him, he was able to like coalesce, be a man about it, respect her. And that literally was like the turning point in his psychological mind battle with Ishamael. That became the criticism of the show. Oh my God, a man can't just be a man anymore. It's all got, like they're all like, the whole criticism of the show from the anti-woke community is that like there are no male heroes anymore. And and my point, and this is why I'm bringing this up and explaining it so specifically, is like, I want to speak to that because loving a woman and respecting a woman is not anti-male. It's the strongest fucking thing you could do as a man. And for Rand to do that, puts him in hero man status. Like the manosphere should be looking up to that moment instead of fucking trying to bring it down. And so I just want to say, even though it's totally different from the books, I loved it. I love that they brought that dynamic in. Right. And
well, Ryan, let me ask you, do you think that if they never left the village, I think Randall Thor would have been just a supportive partner to Egwene. She would have been the wisdom in Watch Hill or Devon Ride or something, and he would have gone and set up a farm out there, and she
wouldn't he have still channeled?
Well, yeah, no. Besides that, he didn't know that. But I'm saying he would have been supportive.
Yeah, he would have been good.
I'll hitch
what?
my wagon to you. No. I'm ride or die with you. And I
Brother
think
Dan,
to your
okay.
point, that is ride or die shit. Yeah.
I would say though that, and this is a fun hypothetical, if Rand and Egwene never left the Two Rivers and married, if Lanfear intervened, would he have fucked Lanfear?
No way. Not in the Two Rivers. He had to go out of town for that. He had to go on a business trip.
No, I mean,
he could not do it in his town.
No, I think why not? He truly loved Lanfear and he doesn't.
Because it's the mayor's daughter.
He never truly loved Egwene.
He said just visiting.
He never truly loved Egwene. Like,
oh yeah, I'm going to Mazatlan.
You think he didn't truly love Egwene? I think he loved Egwene.
Not in that way. Like in the books he didn't.
I think he did. I think they like sometimes you truly love somebody and you grow apart. That's how I always took it in the books. Like they kind of like relationships change and morph and turn into other things.
Yeah,
I always thought it was more like a betrothal that he was just like, yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, he cried harder than anybody else when she died.
Yeah, and I think when you're living in like a little town, once you get out of that town, the world becomes bigger and your emotions change. You're stimulated by more of the world, and that can alter different things.
Yeah, well, and I mean, she was the first time he ever channeled it was over her.
Mm-hmm.
Because he sped up Bella, like he took, so it's like whatever the feeling was, it was strong.
Okay, that's a great point.
Yeah,
I just never thought it was romantic love. I always thought they were like he felt like almost pressured. I never felt the connection between the two. And then like when he finally like found somebody he was into, they're like sex.
They hooked up in kindergarten.
I mean, think about the end of the Eye of the World.
Yeah,
he wanted to protect her, and he said nothing was going to happen to her. And Maureen is eavesdropping on their conversation in the epilogue of the Eye of the World. They're in Faldara.
Oh yeah, awesome.
No, he certainly cares for her, but he doesn't want to spend his life.
I mean, that was established by the middle of the Great Hunt when Egwene is in. She had jealous feelings, but she reconciled herself to that. She understood when she went to the White Tower that a future with her and Rand couldn't happen. I mean, hell, she set a lane up with Rand, literally set a lane up with Rand in the beginning of the Shadow Rising.
I thought Aram had a big part of that though too, right?
No. Gowan and Galad had something to do with that, I think, more so than Aram.
I don't think any of them did. I mean, girls flirt. Like, who cares?
Well, and we think when Rand was being tormented in his dreams, when he was traveling alone and camping, one of the worst things was Egwene. He's like, "Oh, not you! No, you too!" and tried to balefire her, and she's like, "Oh, yoink!" and jumps out, but it was really her. So he was affected. He's like, "Oh shit, you're even gonna throw Egwene at me now?"
Yeah, I think he was in love with her. I just, I think that like we've all like been in love with somebody, and then eventually like you change, and both of you grow apart, and now you're not in love anymore, and you have to like deal with that. And hopefully it's as healthy as their thing.
All right. Well, I mean, London, I'm going to push back. I just dropped out for a little second. You said girls flirt. Okay, they look at like I'm going to remind.
She's flirting.
She's
with
also
everybody.
and she's also okay, but she's also a country bumpkin leaving this like basically like a Amish village, and all of a sudden she's seeing like sexuality in front of her face for the first time.
Are you talking about
that? Is a moment. That was a what?
Show Egwene.
Book Egwene.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like horning all over
She
Aaron.
was like,
they're dancing and stuff. Like I think that was like
way more prudish than.
I think it was definitely frivolous because
she had
no qualms about coming in and leaving when what's his name said it was time to go.
Yeah.
Elias was like, "It's time to go," and she was like, "Okay."
Yeah, no, that was just like, you know.
Yeah, that's true. She
All
was
right,
She was
that's a good
enjoying
point.
the attention, enjoying the flirting, and then, yeah, no, I don't think that like any of those things.
and you remember the biggest thing about Egwene is that she does everything with her whole heart.
Well, let me ask you guys, if with the aging up that we have of the actors, would we have bought it if we had Rand and Egwene just in courtship and not fucking?
No.
No one's
Right?
gonna watch that shit, dude. That's the thing about men. That's why they call TV acting everything is drama. If there's no conflict, there's no show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this just isn't. If it's just soft bullshit, no one's gonna watch that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, no one's gonna watch that.
I don't know.
No one's gonna pay to stream it for sure.
No one still will.
Okay, so Jansen, I'm going to put my foot down. I think that the story is good enough, and I have to believe in the power of the story. Like, if the medium is not like going to live up to the story, then so be it. We can all lament that. But like, I feel like these 5 people leaving Emmons Field and running for their life, the entire book is a compelling story, regardless of all the other stuff. So I just want to put that out
right?
there.
You don't need a love triangle between Perrin, Rand, and Egwene?
No, I mean, there's a lot of things. No.
Go ahead, London.
No, that was weird. They didn't even have that.
Yeah. Here's the other thing, man. We're talking about something that is like a period piece, but it's not a period piece, and it was written 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
So you have to, like, if you're going to make it a show, you have to appeal to the people who are living 30 years behind the time it was written. And it's shit that you can't do, man. The bikinis back then were sucked.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, I mean, just this is one thing, you know, like, but there's so many other things that you know, they're just antiquated, so they have to spice it up. They had to age it up, and if they're going to age up the characters aren't going to act like they did in the book.
But no, that was a big decision. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in my head before the show started, my Rand al'Thor was the drummer kid from Love Actually, who became Jojen Reed. Like, but as the drummer kid, like that kid. It would have been the perfect Rand al'Thor, I think. I don't know if you guys understand that, but God damn
it. That they did the best they could with their castings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll read it.
They got.
I think it was. Go ahead.
Go on. No, I was gonna say, like, we had some of the most amazing moments in television in this series. Moments I'll never forget. And most of them Rand was in.
Yeah, like I've recently just kind of had the Wheel of Time on the TV as I've been doing stuff, and just kind of watching it, you know, from this end of the cancellation, it's still very impactful. It's like watching Rand on the screen, the situations he gets into, the way that Yosha brings us that character. I just thought, you know, this is the kind of acting that I don't see very often. These are the kind of storylines that I don't see very often. They're not sort of regurgitated necessarily. It felt very engaging. It was just kind of like, I want to know what happens. Even though I'd watched the show and read the books, I was kind of like, ooh. So yeah, I think really they did an amazing job, you know, as well as they could, as you said.
I think they had some A+ moments.
Yeah, I would say my favorite scene was Rand going through the lineage of the Aiel. That to me was book to screen.
I was weeping.
Loveliness.
That's a bunch of scenes, though. You know that I mean, that was probably.
I was weeping.
You know,
well, then what do you call that?
Was Tigraine. That was
awesome.
Unbelievable. That was the point where I really thought that, oh my God, this show is going to be insane. And they failed that. But like,
the Blood Snow was crazy.
I thought this was the turning point.
Well, and also when Fael is doing shit behind Perrin, when he's killing Trollocs and Fael is doing her ninja shit, like the fight scenes are really, really well choreographed.
Yeah, I think that scene with Fael and Perrin I think that was thought about a whole lot.
Oh yeah.
If you remember, I don't know what book was it. Was it Winter's Heart, where Morgase Morgase's POV, and she's thinking about Fael and Perrin, and she says how much they complement each other. They're the perfect complement to each other, and that scene itself said all of that in just that one scene of him being this huge dude wrecking stuff and her picking up the pieces all over him. It was great. It was great. Okay.
And it showed respect and equality. He's like, no, I'm not protecting you. You please just kill who I can't and we'll be fine. And she's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, it was great.
Which is what she wanted. Yeah, I think the columns, and then specifically as just a person who loves languages, I think it was the last one where he was talking to Lanfear in the old tongue. I think his grasp of the language, whether it was the script or whatever, like I really felt like he was actually talking and they were discussing, and you could hear the inflection and you could hear the emphasis on some words and kind of read the translation of it, but it felt like he was having a real conversation in a language that he was very familiar with. And that, I know that requires a type of acting, because you can look at a lot of people who act and they have to speak a different language in a certain scene and it feels very either forced or lazy, or the words are all wrong or whatever. Like I love going through the internet, and
I can't imagine how long they had to rehearse that.
Man, and then just getting the the execution of the sentences and understanding like this word means family, or this word means alone, or this word, and then emphasizing those emotions into the old tongue. I just thought this is such a great scene to watch and to listen to. It was so good.
That's a great point, and I imagine
where did the ladies go
when you do not know words that you are saying is that much more difficult to express emotion when you're not speaking any known language.
Jensen, have you ever had to do a scene in a made-up language?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I suspect that if I did, I would just probably add it to music. I'd pick some song that I could really well, and then I would attribute it to the whatever lines it were, and then that's how I'd speak the language.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about opera singers, they have to sing in Italian, German, French, all kinds of stuff. So they've got, in order to really sell the character, they've got to kind of understand what this character is saying and doing, and how do you emphasize these words while you're singing, and stuff.
But you have a template with these languages because they exist.
Right.
There is no template for Dothraki or for Old Tongue or for any of the, you're doing Klingon.
I'll tell you, Star Trek. Star Trek is famous. I mean, in fact, most fantasy stuff takes their cue from Star Trek these days because they've been doing it for 50 years. But yeah, they're the way to go. They're the way to go.
Yeah. Well, in the old tongue, you only have you have the companion and you have what's written in the book in the old tongue, and so they had to also get a linguist to embellish a little bit and create words and create sentences and things. So you're not only learning a made up language, but an embellished made up language.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah. So real quick, piggybacking off that the Bloodstone is your favorite cold open. I would have thought that we would have been better served if we never met Stepan, and episode 5 was the story of Tigraine leaving, meeting with Guitar Moroso, leaving to the waste, how the maidens watched her struggling. The whole story of Tigraine would have been an amazing episode. We've learned
I disagree.
about.
Disagree.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm not here to offend, but bring it on. Tell me why.
I mean, Linda, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Okay. I honestly, I think that it was important to like see the gravity of the warder bond and the consequences that are possible. Because in the book it's like described to you, but it does take quite a bit more to like show an audience that than just like an Aes Sedai being like, yeah, it really sucks if your like warder dies, or it really sucks if the Aes Sedai dies. Like seeing like the serious consequences of that happening. I actually liked having that unpacked in that episode. I liked that it was also like a platonic like pairing. It wasn't like a romantic thing. It was just like losing a part of yourself, like your arm, and and so I thought that it was important to get into that. Especially, it would have been more important if they would have gone farther into the series. But but the way that they set it up, I agreed with, and I really liked it.
Okay, no, I my argument to that is I felt like we saw that subsequently with Lan and Moiraine when
not even close because
he was moping around. His hair was down. He was pissing on trees.
Yeah, but
not Lan.
But he was
cooking frittatas.
Not the same. I think we needed to see that how serious this is, and like Lan, you can't kill him. Like you have to see like this.
But
right, London, how important is that aspect to the story, though?
I think it's important in the way
like
that
1/8 of a season important.
It wasn't 1/8 of the season. That was one part of one episode of the show.
Episode 5 was all about.
It was not all about. It was not all about.
His chest.
It also was the first time that we had the establishment of seeing the Aes Sedai as an organization, as a political organization, of the power of Siuan Sanche. It was so much more than just Steppen.
I dig it. But it is.
I'm sorry, Miss Doman. I'm sorry, Miss Doman.
I'm just saying, you guys. I'm just saying, like,
we do be wrong.
This is the thing. I love you guys, but your takes are so black and white
we are
so gray. They're so gray.
Me?
No, I'm talking about the puppets, not you. I'm talking about the puppets, 100%. Like y'all, you guys.
Oh my god!
We missed views when it's like it's not that cut and dry. They needed it to happen for a reason. They needed to establish the relationship between. They needed to show that the warders aren't just like these soldiers with extra abilities and superpowers. They needed to show that they actually have heart and they actually form friendships with people. Now we can talk if you wanted to talk about like all of the stuff between who's the Matusa, the warders with Alana's warders and the time going to the family and stuff like
Ivan,
that. And
even Ivan's death, though, couldn't we have just done this with Ivan? Couldn't we have just all?
Yeah, she cried with her. She had her makeup tears.
No, because Aes Sedai don't die when their warders die. It's different. Like in the books, even it's different. Like when Aes Sedai die, the warders. The warders either go and murder a whole bunch of people in this weird vengeful rage, or they die. Like that. The other options are they have to be like forcefully bonded, right? Like and that's not great. So
all right.
So like I think that like putting how much like these and it is a heroic thing, right? Like they gain like they're able to like survive more stuff and whatever, but this is a real act of service and that they're getting into knowingly. And I think that like establishing like the honor of that is important in that organization.
Yeah, and I think they were trying to. I think they were really trying to show the difference of what happens to Waters and what happens to Aes Sedai when either one of them dies, because you have Ivan dying, and then Maxim wants to go kill Leandrin. Like, he's out for rage. You don't necessarily see that as much, but he does say, like, why are we in the Two Rivers? Why aren't we going after Leandrin? He's got a purpose to try to kill her, and Alana is more like, this is how I grieve. Who owns this grief? How do I make this, so she's dealing with that differently than Maxim. And I think that was probably what they were trying to do with Stepan was, he raged out. I guess I wish they could have raged out more to maybe emphasize that better. But, he flies in and goes after Logain with his axes and stuff. And so you do get to see a little bit. I think it was important to differentiate that.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think it was then diminished with Alana, because Alana's way of coping is telling, not Yvonne, but the other Maxim. She's like, no, we need to start fucking different, so it doesn't remind me of him. Kind of thing. I mean,
he said that actually.
But she's an Aes Sedai.
That's a little
brother, dear.
What?
I am
Well,
100% with you, Dan.
The reaction she had was more or less, no, we can't fuck like how we used to. We need to do it different, so it's just us. No, guys, I'm not being a jerk. This is what I'm feeling.
No,
well,
but
that's
okay, no, I know what you're feeling, but here's the thing: they already have a bond, right?
They're a
so like
throuple.
Ivan dies, but they still have a bond. How do
And
you
it ain't
save?
their
How
first
do you?
time either.
Right, but how do you save a warder? You bond him.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be less intense. That loss is gonna be like less difficult because the warder that like lost somebody, at least he's still bonded to somebody else. He has like a reason to live. He hasn't had half of his body cut off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like
I like how you put that.
Well, I don't know. That's how I feel, because they're like, it's a
no,
horrible
it's
cut.
very, very great metaphor.
I feel like to really understand like that bond. I will go down swinging over episode 5 of season 1. I think
it was important to establish that too, because later on, if we had gotten more seasons, we would have had to deal with Rand being bonded, and how is he going to deal with being the Dragon Reborn and going mad?
Saved a lot of money with flashbacks.
Yeah.
Jansen, let me ask you: would Alana have bonded Rand in the show?
I was thinking about that, and it could have gone either way, because Alana was another person I thought was a really good candidate to die for shock value.
Okay.
I mean, she does in the books, so yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah. But I mean, without.
Well, but she makes it to the end, though.
She makes it to the end. She gets
like if this is WrestleMania, she's the last 2 or 3.
Well, I was thinking that she, one of the reasons why her warder didn't feel and understand everything is she was blocking him from some shit because she was black. And I think the Rand might have just killed her if she had tried to do that. And then that might have just been it for her. Because it's like, for me, I've never really said this to anybody, but for me, for watching the show, what I wanted to get out of it, I was getting out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jansen. Thank you.
I totally think that, like, I was asked this just yesterday. Why do you think it ended? And I actually think that book readers ended it.
Oh, how dare you!
With all of the fucking whining
fans.
Because for me, I was getting, when I read the books, and you guys, all of you know how many times I've read the books. What goes on in my mind are those big moments. The fight at Shadow Logoth to heal the cleansing, like all those things. I wanted to see those visually,
Yes.
And to see the road to the spear, obviously the biggest fan favorite of the whole series. Getting to see that, which was my favorite chapter in the book. It was awesome. I wanted to see that. I got that, and I got it in spades. It was awesome. I even got visuals that I didn't think I was going to see, like the whole T-Grain thing, which everyone loved. That was amazing. I never even thought, I thought that was the biggest acting treat for me, because I didn't think I was going to get anything like that.
Yep.
You know, and it was done beautifully. It was done amazing. So I'm gonna miss it because I don't get that anymore.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to a lot of the things that came, obviously Cad Swain, I wanted to see her, but even having like Elida show up, I've said this before, like what the show did for me was, especially, I mean, even concerning Rand, we're talking about Rand, was just give me visually this world that I've had in my brain. And so I got to see my characters moving across the screen, channeling, throwing things around, politicking, dying, whatever. And it was incredible for me because I love the visual aspect of it. So when this show came on and as it progressed, it just kept getting my soul was getting filled and filled, despite the fact that I was certainly critical about some things, but I just felt exactly like you did. I was like, oh, I'm getting these moments and I want to see these other moments. I want to see Rand, when he does these things. I want to see the cleansing. I want to see Dumai's Wells. I want to see, all these other things that could have happened that we're not, we maybe not.
Yeah, and we're not gonna see those things, unfortunately, which really bums me out.
Let's stay positive, Dan.
So what do you say, like on a scale of 1 to 10?
Wait, I guess.
What is your Rand? Go Ryan.
No, I want to piggyback off of what everyone else is saying. Like,
okay.
Like I watched every episode, and there's not one episode that I did not literally cry through.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like so many moments with my wife just filming me crying, and so that's, as a fan, like everything we're saying is real for me. Yes, I got to see it, and like if it hit the books and it was like a sweet spot, I would just start crying.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, as a critic of whatever we're trying to do, like if I take my critical brain out, like then this comes out. But like I'm not immune to it, guys. I hear everything you guys are saying. I'm not, like, I loved seeing my peeps. Like,
I am Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with this show as well.
I wanted to be on that motherfucking show so bad, man.
Me too.
I wanted that more than anything, Jansen.
I kept tweeting Lorne Bath and was like, I play the flute, I play the piano.
Come on, Lord.
I should have just been like, I have bosoms.
Yeah. Neon. You could have been. Wait. So so London, who would you have loved to play? On this show.
Well, let's ask first specifically. Do you have an Aes Sedai you would have liked to play?
An Aes Sedai?
No, give her. Limit her.
Anything.
I'm thinking Melgedian. Hello.
Am I creepy?
No.
Grendel, I can see you sitting on naked men.
Grendel.
People did do like that. I would have. I mean, that would have been. I would have. It doesn't even matter. I like for somebody without many lines, because I've always hated scripts. I don't know.
Oh, you know who you could have played? No, you know who would have been a good one for London to play?
Amazing.
You could have played Taylene.
Oh yeah.
Would be who?
Taylene.
Because I'm a
well, you'd be green. I can see you definitely as a green.
A dark friend.
You as a green, but a green getting caught being dark.
How dare you?
Jansen.
I'm not a dark friend.
No, like you would definitely.
No, but you can play one on TV, right? It's
right.
Not the Lord Captain Commander.
It's drawn bad.
Oh, I think you guys overestimate my acting ability.
Beth, who would you play as a character on the show?
That's a great question. Why can't I just play myself?
That's a good name. Beth Doman. This do be my daughter.
I'm just kidding.
You're Belle Doman's daughter? Yeah.
No, Belle Doman. Yeah, sure. No, I would probably want to play. My God. Okay, this is gonna sound really weird. Let me be Lenny.
Ah!
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll age you up.
Let me be
We'll
Lenny.
age you up.
If I was like older, I would say like Cad Swain or Lenny, some old character. Like I love the old ladies of the
Yeah.
We'll age you up, London. We got it's a miracle of modern technology. Be whoever you want to be.
Ryan, who would you want to be?
I'm thinking about it. Dad's loyal. Loyal, of course, Dad. I would be fucking loyal. I'm 6'7".
Good point.
I read. That's
the librarian carrying.
Oh, Beth is a librarian.
Tarson. What was her name? Was that her name, Mistress Tarson?
I can't remember.
Oh, are you talking about?
I sincerely hope you're flattering her, Jansen.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
was she hot? Just like she was a hot librarian, right? Yeah,
she's so smoking.
She was like the hot librarian, right, Jansen?
She invented a weapon that could kill people from a mile away.
I do know what you're talking about. I do know who you're talking about.
That is hot.
It's pretty rad.
I would want to play somebody like super not hot.
Like,
wait, who came back with a bulbous of Lanfear when she came back from?
No, that was Grendel.
No, Grendel came back like super ugly. I would like want like all kinds of like ugly shit, just like.
Yeah, what's her name? What's Grendel?
Hestelam.
Yeah. You come back.
You know, London. I could see you as like Halima, and you're like
still
secretly
fuck shit up. What?
I mean, Halima's pretty badass. But...
Yeah, I can see you as Halima. You're secretly a man. You're causing headaches everywhere. You're coming in. You're channeling. No one can tell. Oh yeah, I can see that.
But
okay.
Yeah. But universally hot. Like
it's a compliment.
Halima is universally hot.
You could be one of the Ogier in the setting where she's like, make sure you take care of Loyal because he's young.
Yeah. No, I like to be like, I don't know. I don't.
It would, as
I don't want to be pretty stuff.
For pure fun, it would be really fun to play one of the snakes or the foxes.
That'd be. I'd want to be Talmanis. I want to be Matt Straight Man. Well, Matt just throws stuff off me. I'm like, oh,
that's a pretty good character,
bro.
Yeah, that's a good character.
And I'd have a cool mustache.
Yeah. Visually, I would want to be an Asherman because I would just want to channel and have that as something I could show people. But I like the idea also of being, I know this is going to sound awful, I like the idea of being like a Shan-Chan noble or somebody just outrageous. I'm thinking of... Yeah, like I just think of... In season 2, in season 2 there was the High Lord Turak, and then behind him there was, I just call this person the snack person, and it was like this person with a tray of snacks, and they just looked like very, cunty and very like just whatever. And I was like, that's the character that I want. I want to be
passing out snarky
snacks. But you're in every scene. It's just cunty person.
Amazing.
It'll be cunty person in the
amazing
credits.
So we all know that Jansen was pining for the role of Androl.
Androl
would have been so cool.
Androl.
One of the reasons actually I wanted to play Androl had a lot to do with acting class when I was younger. So one of the exercises in acting class is always doing something, because it's like you're never just standing in front of a camera in real life, right? You're always doing something. And so we had to do these things called activities. So we had to bring in an activity to acting class every day and do our lines while we were doing this activity. And I never got it right. Never. I never got it right. Finally, one day I did get it right, and it felt great, and I was almost crying because I was so happy. But Androl is always doing something with his hands in every single episode. When you read about it, he's working with leather, he's tinkering something. And I just think it's a real cool way to act when you're working with something like that, because you can just put so much inflection in what you're doing.
That's so great. Yeah. Cool.
And he's also, like what London was saying, she wanted to play the ugly character, and you guys can see her. She's obviously not. I want to play the weakest character. Like he's the weakest guy. And most guys don't want to play the weakest guy. But Andrew showed how powerful and what he could do with how little he had.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought about that being my story in life. Like just getting dealt the worst hand and making a really good one out of it. And
is he the McLovin of Wheel of Time?
Yeah.
I think Andrew is the unsung hero of the Wheel of Time.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yes,
There
again,
were a
without
lot
him.
of There were
You
a lot
imagine instead of gateways, he just like could do confetti really well. And he's
Yeah,
like,
no, so real quick, so do we know if Andrew was actual like Brandon Sando or Robert Jordan invention?
I don't know. But I also
does anybody know this?
Oh, guys, I gotta go.
oh,
yeah,
okay.
we're wrapping up. Yeah,
we are. Okay.
Definitely. I think Angel had the best relationship, at least romantic relationship in the whole series.
Yes,
Mm.
yes.
I agree.
And Andrew, best. I love that relationship.
Oh, I'd like to meet
London, thanks for
Pavara.
joining.
I would
man.
like to meet Pavara.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Pavara, I could see you as a good
Let me
Pavara.
be
That's-
pragmatic Pavara.
Yes.
Let me be Pee-Pee.
That's a
Pragmatic Pavara.
Yeah.
You could be. You're my Phoebe.
Clip that. Clip that.
Yes. It's so be clipped. And on the seventh day, the Lord said, on the seventh day, the Lord said, clip that. And it was done. And he was happy.
I loved it. It was great seeing you again. Bye, everybody else. I love you guys.
Love you, babe.
All right. So, yeah, this has been The Way of the Leaf. Thank you for liking and subscribe and all of that madness. We'll see you next time. Run for your lives. This is The Way of the Leaf.